What would a dream date with Alex Rodriguez be?
Jennifer Lopez. Hopefully you can find me a date with her.
Like he said, you're my wife and you don't even know it.
I mean, even just your nicknames, A-Rod and J-Lo, it's like you were meant to be together.
Because this was the fairy tale marriage, right? This was the one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. But sometimes what's going on behind the scenes is something very different, but that's the show. And I just started having all of these crazy thoughts and afraid, like anxiety.
Why do you think that the relationship didn't work?
I don't talk about it. Oh, these are my honeys.
You're a pig.
You feel like you're gonna die. You feel like you failed. You feel like no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make it work.
What are you afraid of?
Being alone. My mom and I did have a falling out.
I said, no, you can't do this. We had this huge fight.
It was kind of like, you do this or you leave. You know, was 18 years old and had nowhere to go. You get rejected a lot. I say for the 40-something movies I've done, I've gotten 100 no's in between. I feel things very deeply, and passion and kind of romance and all that kind of stuff is so exciting to me. Me and my sister shared a bed. I was always with people. You know, when I moved away, I was still like looking for that family, looking for that love.
Do you feel completed now that you're married?
I feel very good. I'm very happy. And to cut them all is not fair.
Jennifer, but it's not just, you have to listen to the points. If not, what am I doing here?
Because this was the fairy tale marriage, right? This was the one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I had waited so long to have kids, and I finally did. And they, and I'm realizing like, oh my God, this is not right. I just wasn't ready to deal with the fact that it could be over. I didn't want that. It was like the worst thing in the world for me. I had held it for so long, like, no, I'm gonna make this work. I just started having all of these crazy thoughts and afraid, like anxiety, and I couldn't hold it down anymore. And I was like, I just feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know what's happening. Help me. And I just burst into tears. And I was realizing that my marriage was falling apart because I finally let the feeling and the words out of my mouth.
Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony announced the end of their 7-year marriage, stating it is a painful time for all involved.
We did plan on being together for 40 or 50 years. So that day I had to give up that dream.
You feel like you're gonna die. You feel like you failed. You feel like no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make it work. You couldn't give your babies a perfect life.
He goes, my daddy left me. And I wanted to kill myself.
This is so I could remember my daddy.
It hurts me to see them miss him so much. They miss him so much.
I was 18 years old and had nowhere to go. I felt so alone. The missing component was me loving myself and being able to take care of myself. I think our main responsibility and what Mark and I talk about a lot is just letting them know how much we love them, that they have not been abandoned. We're taught that there's a fairy tale that's supposed to happen. You're supposed to come in and rescue the girl, and then we're gonna live happily ever after, and it's gonna be awesome. But that's not how it goes. I felt like for the first time in my life, I needed to be on my own, by myself, working on myself. Eventually, hopefully somebody great comes along, but I will be whole first.
I describe it as the luckiest day of my life.
Daughters think their dad is a hero now. I'm like, hi, honey, how was school? And they're like, Dad, yeah, it was great. Where's Jennifer?
He wants to build together, which I've never had. I've never had somebody who wants to see me shine and grow. The kids have a network of people who love, adore them, and want the best for them. When we first got engaged, I was like, oh, we're gonna get married in a couple months. Like, your old thinking comes right back. I said, if we're gonna be together for the rest of our lives, what is the rush?
I for sure thought you were gonna come back and say like my best show. It was by far the best show.
Oh, this is what true unconditional love feels like. Oh, okay, now I get it. You have to heal on your own, and nobody can do that for you. Relationships should be nourishing and supporting. It has to nourish and support you. If it's not that, it's not healthy. You have to be healthy and whole on your own first before you can allow somebody to add to that happiness. We keep reminding ourselves how blessed we are to have these amazing kids, and all of the challenges that come along with that is our life. That's our life, and we're glad for it.
The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused and then have to deal with yourself.
I haven't had this perfect, flawless life.
Is there tension still?
Yeah.
Beyoncé disses Jay-Z for cheating on her.
And I say all these things, but now I'm getting tested.
I'm not a perfect human being by no stretch.
You know, sometimes the truth isn't always pretty, but it is the truth.
I just felt like, oh my God, here goes my little bit of privacy.
I would never want to trust a person that much, to love a person that much so they could be able to hurt me like that again.
Did you live in fear? I did.
It was there, everyone knew, but we never spoke about it.
Right now, I'm very emotional because it's like I'm reliving it.
The strongest thing a man can do is cry. As a kid, your pop is the superhero. Then for a kid to have that taken away from him is the most traumatic thing you could ever feel. After that, then you start on the street and there's no one else to guide you through the maze that is life.
You dating Jay-Z? Yeah. I don't actually talk about who I'm dating, who I'm not.
I think any relationship inspires, especially when it's a great relationship.
You can't connect because of the way you feel about yourself?
Yes. In my case, it's deep. To love a person that much so they could be able to hurt me like that again. No one could ever match that pain. That's why I've always been guarded. And that's why I've never let females or anybody really get close to me. And that was all attributed to my pop. My mom had set up a meeting for us, told her, man, he's not gonna show up. He came to my house, got a chance to air it out. At the end of the thing, it was like, I apologize. He didn't have long to live. Like when my pops died, I didn't cry. It tells you right there, I was hiding. So you go into survival mode. Even with women, you got shut down emotionally, so you can't connect.
Rihanna's father really is a man who has demons. The troubles that she had with her father really had an effect on her.
The people around you inspire you in certain ways. She sings. Her roots come through in her music.
The king. Like it doesn't get better than that.
I'm not a perfect human being by no stretch.
I've never been afraid to fall. And I say all these things, but now I'm getting tested.
It was there, everyone knew, but we never spoke about it.
Jay-Z says Chris Brown better watch his back. When Jay-Z heard that Chris Brown allegedly beat up Rihanna, he hit the roof.
This happened to me. I didn't cause this.
The world didn't know that you'd had a miscarriage. It was one of the hardest things I've been through.
Been through a lot of trauma.
Right now, I'm very emotional because it's like I'm reliving it.
I definitely want everyone to know that. People act out in this way based on their life experiences.
Beyoncé dropped a new album this past weekend, but what's setting the internet on fire is speculation that the lyrics are about her own marriage and a suggestion of an affair.
What was that like being in therapy?
I grew so much from the experience. But I think the most important thing I got is that everything is connected. Every emotion is connected and it comes from somewhere.
What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save?
You can love someone, and if you haven't experienced loving and you don't have the tools to move forward, you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up. It just felt like she should go first and she should share her truths with the world.
Any relationship, you go through issues and you have to learn each other and you grow and have painful moments.
And the only way to get through that is we sit down and have a dialogue and say, these are the things that I'm uncomfortable with. These are the things that are unacceptable to me. This is what I feel.
How's Jay-Z as a dad? Such a great father. I'm so lucky. And I would not be the woman I am if I did not go home to that man.
Me and my daughter talked. I told her to get in the car the other day. Then I just hear a little voice, Dad. I turned around, she said, I didn't like when you told me to get in the car the way you told me. It hurt my feelings. And I was like, that's the most beautiful thing you've ever said to me. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to work through it and really be honest. You have to be strong enough to go through that.
Are you a better woman because of him? Absolutely.
Is he a better man because of you?
Absolutely.
For us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome, break that cycle.
I was in shock because it felt like he was exposing me.
So what happened?
Oh my God. Well, I'm not going to go into detail.
We discovered that Gavin allegedly had a 3-year affair with their nanny.
I felt like such a loser, crying my eyes out, going, what am I doing right now?
That was moving!
Come on, cut the cameras!
Nothing matters except for just trying not to die right now, so.
Do you feel good about yourself?
Wow.
You're just mad at me?
I didn't mean to.
Have you met her before?
I have met her before.
What is she like?
Why don't you calm down? You're sweating again.
Like before, I didn't even know he existed. Like before the show. Like I didn't even know that he was a human being on this planet.
Reports of Gavin Rossdale allegedly cheating on Gwen with the family nanny came out.
But it's still super hard to like have your family break up. And what do you do after that?
When I came back to the show, I had this huge weight on me. From the outside, he looks like, you know, so happy and, you know, all those things. But Blake's like, I gotta talk to you guys. And he basically made his announcement. So then we just started this friendship, which was just unbelievable to have each other in the same exact moment. Why am I so unlucky in love? I have these perfectly married in love parents, this example of love my whole life, and then mine has been this tragic thing. Can you imagine if I won?
Well, if one does win, I hope it's you.
Thank you. When you're sweet, you're so sweet.
Oh, you never said something like that to me before. That made my day.
I love the energy with them being on the show together. It kind of softens Blake a little bit in the right ways.
On paper, a cowboy and a ska-like girl from Anaheim would be hanging out, but it works perfect.
I'm like,
Hi, pretty girl. You, gross. Man, that's so inappropriate to talk about us hooking up on TV.
I still can't believe that I'm dating Gwen Stefani. She is no offense, my favorite human being I have ever met in my life.
It's interesting. Life is just, again, full of surprises. It's kind of awkward to talk about because other people are involved and I have children and stuff like that, so I need to protect them.
Sure. Do you think that Blake would be a good dad?
He is a good dad, actually. He's been helping me out a lot. It's hard. I got 3 boys.
I don't want to remember what I was like before Gwen, actually. I was a jerk to everybody before Gwen.
She changed you.
Look how nice I am now. Gwen Stefani, I love the out of you.
We all go through life and everybody has pain. But I think that for me to see on the other side was going to be this after all of that tragedy. Wow. It's almost impossible. But I just feel so grateful.
I have gone through a lot, but
Blake saved my life. This is the most what I thought love was supposed to be. We are just having the time of our lives. Because I am so lucky, and it was so unexpected.
Garner reportedly seemed visibly shaken after meeting with Affleck.
I really feel the stress of it. I could cry talking about it.
I have regrets. I've made plenty of mistakes.
His drinking problem had become life and death.
I think that they have really worked at their marriage, and I just think that they just couldn't do it anymore.
I never thought I was going to get divorced. I didn't want to get divorced. I really didn't want to be a split family.
It's Jennifer Garner to the rescue as she descended on Ben Affleck's home and staged an intervention.
And it upset me because it meant I wasn't who I thought I was. And that was so painful and so disappointing.
I think that Ben's serious about his recovery? Absolutely not. My advice to Jen is set your boundaries.
I really don't want my children to pay for my sins.
You know, you're trying to do right by your kids and you're trying to protect them.
I can tell you still love her when you just talked about her.
There are things that I would love to go back and change.
Just out of respect. Yes. Can you give some space? No, it's bad enough.
Absolutely.
It's hard enough. How can I give them that feeling and the freedom and the joy and the silliness and the hard work?
How things going? Mommyhood is going?
It's, you know, it's like it just gets better and better.
Ben Affleck,
I want to thank my wife, who's the reason I'm standing here. I adore you. I love you so much. Thanks for sitting through this. You're my everything. I want to thank you for working on our marriage for 10 Christmases. It's good. It is work, but it's the best kind of work. And there's no one I'd rather work with.
I started to drink more and more and more, and it was really hard for me to accept that meant I was an alcoholic. I was fine before. You know, I just need to take a break. I just need to slow down.
Everyone says, oh, you've had to go through this in public. The public isn't what's hard. What's hard is going through it.
When she realized I can't go down this rabbit hole, she just shut it all out. Ben's like, oh, you don't care. Oh, how can you not care? You don't care. She's like, no, it's the opposite. You know, I care too much. It's too painful.
What was the hardest thing for you to be honest with yourself about?
That I was going to get divorced. I never thought I was going to get divorced. I didn't want to get divorced. I didn't want to be a divorced person. I really didn't want to be a split family.
After he was spotted receiving what looked like a delivery of beer and whiskey at his home.
And it upset me because it meant I wasn't who I thought I was. And that was so painful and so disappointing.
You can't buy parenting. You have to get down on the floor and play. Even if you're a super busy mom or dad, you have to find time for your kids.
I lost the dream of dancing with my husband at my daughter's wedding. And if you see your kids love someone so purely and wholly, then you're going to be friends with that person.
He's totally manipulating the rehab.
8:30 this morning, Ben left the treatment center to play a 3-hour game of basketball.
Garner reportedly seen visibly shaken after meeting with Affleck.
I really don't want my children to pay for my sins or to be afraid for me. I don't really have a choice. I have to be the man I want to be at this point. I don't have any more room for failure of that kind. There are things that I would love to go back and change. I have regrets. I've made plenty of mistakes, some big, some small.
And you said this, battling addiction is a lifelong and difficult struggle. It's a full-time commitment. I'm fighting for myself and my family.
I took the last half of the year off and I just got to be dad. Drive him to school, pick him up, go to the swim meet. Just that's where the parenting happens. It's in the cracks. It's in the moments where you're just taking them back from soccer and they say something profound or they talk about how they're really feeling about something and it's the joy of it. And that's what I don't want to miss.
Life doesn't always turn out exactly the way you want. We're doing our very best and we're putting our kids first.
If you can just have faith who you are and who they are as people, it's so beautiful when you see it starting to come out.
I can tell you still love her when you just talked about her.
Of course she's wonderful. You know, somebody's the mother of your kids. They're going to be the most important central person in your life.
It's really admirable how, you know, you and Ben have both, it's all about children first and being a team, and that's what you have to do.